All right, so here's our attempt at a playing at home, just my son and I. So bear with me here. First, just rolling off who's going first. We've got 875 points of my Tyranids versus 875 points of Space Marines. Because we're on a smaller surface here, we're going to adjust the rules a little bit. We're going to set off a deployment zone of just like 3 inches. We're using a much smaller map than normal. I have a Marvel Crisis Protocol mat from when I used to play that. So we're just using that to play with. And we're just setting everything up. His army consists of what comes in the Leviathan box, starter set Leviathan box. So we've got the Ballistus Dreadnought, the Lieutenant with combi weapon, oh my goodness, the Terminator, or Captain and Terminator armor, the Librarian and Terminator armor, an Apothecary Biologist, 5 Terminators, 1 with the assault cannon, 5 Stern Guard, and 10 Infernus Marines. So he's setting those up like that. And then mine is going to consist of a Swarm Lord, a Tyrannifex, 6 Zoanthropes, the Neurotyrant, and then 6 Von Ryans. Now, we were discussing how far to put the Von Ryans for their infiltratability, and we were explaining, I was explaining to him how far they should be able to go and everything. So we're just adjusting for that. And we're just getting everything set up. Just a fun game, no stratagems, no craziness. Just a last man standing, last person standing situation here. Using the buildings that I have for Marvel Crisis for here's my son's realizing his mistake after leaving his guys straight out in the middle of the field without cover. And I'm totally going to just put my Tyrannifex directly line of sight. A lot of banter, a lot of fun we had doing this setup. So he's setting up the last of them. All my guys are set up. Big reason I brought the fan. Oh, here we're doing our roll off. See who goes first. I want to go first so I can shoot the big boy. But he wins roll off, and he's real happy about that. So now we're going to go turn 1, Space Marines here. But we had done 2 other kind of plays. One was at the Warhammer local well, I won't even say local, it's like an hour and a half drive, Warhammer store. We did a match, the testing match there, and he beat me there. And then we did just a half fun match with 5 Terminators against 6 Zoanthropes, and he beat me there. Just because they got within melee range and I couldn't do anything about it. And that was mostly to help me learn the rules and everything else. So, yeah, we're getting the game started. He's real new to the rules, so mostly trying to go through him of, what people need to do. You can't just move, okay, now I'm going to shoot. No. Everyone needs to move. Everyone needs to have a place. And and doing stuff like that. Back there around the corner, he's chosen to move up the lieutenant and the captain and Terminator armor up around the alley behind that building. Kind of like a sneak attack type thing there. He's moving the librarian up behind cover. Now he's going to start moving up the Infernus Marines to get those guys going. Yeah, my strategy here, because I knew what everyone was bringing, so I was worried about the armor and trying to chew through the armor. So that's why the T-Fex is there, the Tyrannifex, because it's with that the las weapon, it can take off a heavy chunk of health when it hits, and that's what I was most worried about. So the Tyrannifex is there to eat through the ballistus armor and the Terminator armor. Everything else I thought I could handle with what I had, but depending on how the rolls went, it was going to be interesting, to say the least, for how we're going. So he's just going to be moving everything up, and we're discussing ranges and how far they've got. So now he's going to move his ballistus dreadnought over, because he moved the stern guard out of the way and the ballistus dreadnought over into the way, just to protect everything. And we'll see how that works later on. He doesn't have the Warhammer app or anything on his phone, so I had him take pictures of my phone. So that's what he's going off of there for movement and everything else. So now he's moving up the Terminators behind the stern guard, and we're making jokes about, do you see those guys run away? And for the guys running down the alley behind there. So, and now we're going to go on to shooting. We had a lot of fun playing this. It was just for fun. It was at the kitchen table. So we just had a lot of fun. My wife, she was doing some work, and she said she thought we were just making up numbers and making up everything else. But here I'm showing him that the ballistus has a 48-inch range, and the table's not barely under 48 inches. So yeah, he's in range of everything, because he was concerned that things weren't going to be in range for attacks. And I'm just showing him that, yes, it's in range. We're okay. Fire away. So here I got to step off to pull up some stats, because we're missing them from the picture he took. So I've got to go pull them up. I had my laptop over because I realized, I'm recording off my phone, and I use my phone with the app to play the game. So, yeah, that's not going to work. So I had to run over and grab my laptop and pull up stats and everything else for him. Here we're going to do some rolls to hit, and then to wound and all that. And his dice throughout the night here, you're going to see, did not go in his favor at all. He would roll sixes on defense, but nothing well on attack or to wound. Unfortunately for him, it was not pleasant for that. my defense on the 2-up. Yeah, and I made that. So, here we go. One other thing that he ended up, I got to talk to him about, is he was firing the Ballistic Dreadnought missiles, and he was using the blast missiles instead of the crack missiles. And I've got to talk to him about that to make sure, we're using the right types and the right profile depending on what we're fighting. I realized towards the end and after the fact that, he was using the wrong thing. It would have helped, definitely to chew through some of that strength armor, strength 12 on the Tyranofex armor. Would it have changed the tide? I'm not sure. But yeah, just one of those things you learn and you go. This is for the machine guns on it. I can't think of the actual name of it off the top of my head. To see if he was within range of that. And explaining rapid fire. Yeah, his rolls were just not good. His 2 hits and 2 wound rolls were just not great. So, yeah. And this is me just reminding him, hey, you got guys over there. And I don't think it's in range. And I was like, yeah, pretty sure it's in range. Why don't you measure it out? Because I'm pretty sure you can hit. So, there's the measurement, and yeah, they're in range. So now he thought it was the librarian who was attacking and not the lieutenant. So just little mess up there. And when he moved him out of position and put him further back, and I wanted to make sure it was fair. So I put him back in position for him. Just because I don't want to sell him short or anything else. And here I'm pulling up my stats to make sure I got the right one, right profile on it. I got to figure out a better way to do that. I'm thinking, I was trying to see if I could get the app onto my laptop, but it won't let me. So I was using the new recruit. Oh, he rolled a hit and damage, and I missed. And here I'm gonna, I thought I was. Okay, I made that one. I don't know, one of them I don't make it, but I guess that one nope, there it is. There's the wound. Okay. I was going to say, I knew I took a wound somewhere there. But I've got to figure out a better way to play if I'm recording with my phone. Because, yeah, there's no real way to set this up if it's off my phone and everything. But now we're going to see if the stern guard can take some shots. Some pot shots. You never know. If it rolls well, you can get some damage on. That's, if you have nothing to shoot at, then I understand not shooting, but I at least, take the shot, because you never know. Something could go through. and do, a couple points of damage, start, death by 1,000 cuts and all that. We'll start going through and taking it away. And let's see here. So the stern guard's going. I believe I gave it to him that the Terminators could go to. They should have been out of range, but again, we're just having fun. So I let it go. In retrospect, for deployment, we probably should have made it a little further up, maybe like 6 inches or so, 5 or 6 inches, just so we're not so far away. It kind of gives the Tyran effects a little bit of an unfair advantage. Also, if he would have deep striked the Terminators into the back line, that would have been disastrous to take him off, because then it would have, it would have taken my big gun a little bit more out of the picture. And here I'm digging out my wound markers that I have. I purchased from, I believe it's Zitco, Zitko. They make that ruler that you see there. A whole bunch of Warhammer goods. I got it off Amazon. They also have a website that you can order from. And they have some really good products, especially, if you're newer like me. It has the steps of combat. It has the steps of play. It has a real easy cheater to wound marker. If it's less than half, it's this. If it's more than half, it's this. So it makes it real quick and easy, especially if you're learning. Like for me, it was just a whole lot easier to remember and do it that way. So ended up getting their 3-pack. It has, you can use it for measurements on all the sides. It's like a 2-inch measurement, a 1-inch, 6-inch, and all this. So you can use your basic rules of measurement in addition to, the rules written on it for like deployment zones and stuff like that. It really, really is helpful and good for remembering. There's a smaller one that I have in my bag that is like a 3-inch, 2-inch, 1-inch marker, and then there's a 12-inch one as well. So it can really, I think it's great, high quality plastic. And then the wound markers are nice. They go up to 20 wounds. I think I'm going to darken up the numbers a little bit just because they're kind of hard to read. It's white, but it's a real faded white. But here, I'm going to do an advanced move. This is my turn now. Advanced move on my Swarm Lord to try to get him up and into combat faster. And I rolled a 6. So now we're going to move a lot. I got some really good rolls here. And my Swarm Lord lost an arm. It's magnetized, but yeah, lost an arm. So here I'm just making sure he's trying to get that base behind the building, because those Infernus Marines scare me. I've been on the other end of those Infernus Marines, so I want to make sure I'm as far behind that as I can. And then with the Von Ryan's Leapers here, I've got a group of 6. We're going to do another advance, and I'm trying to get to that alley down the corner there and tie up those guys over there is my goal. So here we go, another advanced roll. And another 6. So I was like, oh man. Oh, that's fun. So here we go. We're going to run over into the building and get going. All right. So the next one to move. And here I'm just off screen. I'm checking to see if they have any special rule where they can charge after advancing, and because I know my Hormigons do, but Von Ryans do not. So can't do the awesome charge attack, go crazy move. So here we're just going to move. The zone throws up their 5. And the T-Fex is going to stand still because there's no reason for him to move. He's got heavy weapon, and there's just no point. So he's just going to hang tight right where he is. So now we're going to start the attack. And I'm just pulling up my stats and stuff on the laptop. Oh no, at this point I'm pulling up the defense stats for the ballistas because he didn't have it pulled up. So I was trying to go through and quickly pull it up. All right. So we're just going to measure to see if my Zoanthropes want to go after the ballistas or the stern guard, I'm sorry. And I changed my mind and said, you know what, we're going to go down the alley after the lieutenant who's behind that building in the very top of the screen. And so we're going to attempt a focused psychic lance and take the chance on some backlash damage because it's just the amount of damage is just too good, and I'm gonna risk it. Neuro Tyrant's not a part of this, so there we go. Okay, 6 attacks. What's his toughness? What's his strength? All right, here's the save. And here's the damage roll. Double checking my damage. I think it's 1d6 plus 1 per hit. I think he's melted. And here is the all-important backlash. And roll it, please. We're good. Whew. Hate those backlash. When I was in the tournament, I got hit with a backlash, and yeah, it almost killed me. Um, Took him down to 1 hit point right off the first turn, or the second turn, whatever it was. So I like it because it does a lot of damage, but that backlash can hurt. So now we're gonna do the big boy. Terrain effects into the ballistas. Pulling his stats out. Come on, me. Alright, here we go. It gets 2 attacks for that. Big weapon there. And here's the 2 hit. I'm not sure why he rolled there, but we missed a roll. Looking at it now. That's my fault. But hey, I'm still learning too, so. Alright, that's Tyranids turn 1. On to turn 2. Now this is where if he had kept those Terminators or something in reserve, it could bring him down and play havoc in my back line. He's gonna move his ballistas up, and he wants to shoot immediately. And I'm like, no. This is, you gotta go by. Everyone's got to move first. You gotta do it right here. Everyone's got to move. Everyone's gotta. Can't just move and shoot just because we're so focused on that fight. Because I was worried about that ballistas dreadnought a lot. And if I remember right, I think it took him down. That attack took him down to like 2 hit points or something. And here I'm using my awesome laser pointer, the line laser pointer, to see if he could see the Swarm Lord, and he can. So we're trying to figure out who's shooting where. Or who can see where. I was thinking about switching out my wound marker for the one of the rotating ones I was mentioning, but it only had one wound left, so I just left it as the dice instead of the wound marker. Again, like I said, it's probably something I'm going to fix up and make a little darker color on it, something a little brighter. Here he's moving up the Infernus Marines. Big old blob of 10. He's going to move the Librarian. And he wants him around the corner. And I'm going to explain to him here how he's got to move it. It's not just a straight, I'm jumping over. It's a dumpster. But think of it like a building you have to go around. So you're going to move part of it there and then part of it around the turn if you want to make that turn. So you're going to lose a little bit of your movement to do that. Again, just one, to keep me kind of used to that sort of movement, and also to get him used to that sort of movement, because he's discussed getting his own army and playing a couple times. So depending on who he decides to play, he's mentioned a couple times Tyranids, but you already have them, and I'm like, well, that doesn't mean you can't, but it's kind of his choice what he wants to do with it. He's mentioned Necrons and he's mentioned Tau a few times. But the people at the local gaming store were teasing him about the Tau because everyone hates the Tau. So I don't know if that turned him off to it or not. But, Tau's a great army. I mean, the guy who played in the tournament, he went 3-0 with the Tau. So that's kind of why they're hated so much, because they win. So, that's why. But he's moving everything up in a blob behind the building. The Stern Guard, the Terminators, the Infernus Marines. And now we're going to start taking shots at things. He's throwing dice on the floor. Trying to remember if this is the Ballistus Dreadnought, or I think it is. He's going to use a command point to re-roll, because I think he rolled 4 1s, 3 runs or 4 1s at this point. So he used a command point to re-roll, and instead of 1s he rolled 2s. So he rolled a little better, but not the best. So there's my defense, and yeah, we got it. That was the crack missiles. Or not the crack missiles, the blast missiles. If I remember right. So this is the las cannon. 2d6. To hit, to wound. There's my save, and nope. How much damage? That's why that last cannon, I think he rolled, it's 1d6 plus 1 per hit, and he rolled low, thankfully. So it took my guy down to like, I think 12 or 11 hit points at this point, but that's why I was so afraid of that ballistas. I mean, if it rolls well, I mean, it could theoretically just take him out quick. And yeah, thankfully, for my sake, it rolled poorly all night, but now he's taking rapid fire shots at my Von Ryans behind him, which I thought was very rude, but you know, whatever. What are you going to do? Let's roll to save. All right, well, that's good to know. The thing cuts off after 36 minutes. I'm doing a voiceover recording, so that's good to know. So yeah, so here we're finishing up. He's going to do some rolls. I'm just going to show you the other side. I realized I haven't shown any of that. So just kind of that. And then we'll put it back. But so this is still the rapid fire into the Von Ryans. And he gets one and takes one down to 1 wound. Good rolling on that one. So here's a couple pot shots. Trying to remember if he tried to focus everything on the T-Fex, or if like the Terminators and Stern Guards started taking out the Von Ryans. I think if he would have, at least those guys would have been more hurt when it was all said and done. In a second, you're going to see a real intense discussion about line of sight. Right now, here we go. Can Inverness Marines see that Hive Tyrant, or the Swarm Lord, sorry, behind the building? Because from different angles you could, other angles you couldn't. From the laser light pointer you could, and everything else. So command point reroll. Nope. Yeah, his dice just were not happy and were not helpful. Oh, that was the witchfire. That's what it was. He was using focused witchfire, and he rolled poorly on it. So then he used command point to re-roll it, and then for backlash, I told him, no, use that same dice, because it kept rolling a 1. And so I said, hey, he used a different dice, or he used a dice and he saved it. But I was like, hey, roll the other one. Let's just see what it would have been too. And he would have made it too, but whatever. It was just fun. One of those funny moments in Warhammer. So, let's see. This should be the Infernus time. I'm glad about that laser light pointer, because it definitely helped both of our cases. From a certain angle, I was right. From a certain angle, he was right. So it was fun. All right. So here's the laser light. Here we go. See, I'm seeing building as I come here. Let me show you the building. And he's like, wait a minute. But if you come over here and look from this guy, you could see it. And finally I relent. I'm like, all right, fine. So, because I did not want those Infernus Marines to come after my Swarm Lord at all. They scare me. Last time I played with him in my test match at my local gaming store, they totally decimated a group of orcs and just burned them down. It was quite funny. For me, not for my opponent, but it was a teaching match, so we were having fun. So Here's all the dice he needs to roll for this thing. Ugh. So much dice. That was the 2 hit, and I would do the 2 wound. Or my save, sorry. That's right, because it's torrent. Torrent weapon, no 2 hit, just a wound. And I took some damage. I think that's it for his turn 2. I'm going to ask him if this is it. How many command points do you have? None. Like, okay, good. Because I was about to do some measuring here and see how far Swarm Lord's going to come around. And as I said in the game, hello, mother buzzards. But, yeah. I didn't want to make sure there was no Overwatch or something coming my way for a second time. I didn't want to try to face down a torrent of flamethrowers again. So he ducked out from around the building and is staring him down for that. And then next one I'm gonna move my Von Ryans. Or no, I'm sorry, my Zoanthrope's up. He's 5 inches. Hey, next time I hold my guys in reserve, bring them down behind or something. That 5-inch move is just, it's killer. If you don't place them in the right spot on the board. It can just be hard. I mean, your opponent can just move out of the way and make them pointless, in the game. So and then we're going to move the Von Ryans over. And it's hard to see behind the building. But there's a group of Stern Guard Terminators right behind the building. So we're just going to move them behind the Dreadnought and get them within an inch or 2 of the Stern Guard. And my son decided to get a snack. So that's my movement phase. We're going to get in close and start chopping away at these guys. Get some ceramite armor chopped up in little pieces. And I'm actually going to move up my terrain effects. I hadn't really been using heavy at all, but I thought I might need to get up close and personal. The match seemed to be progressing behind that building, so I wanted him to get up into there so he can take shots at people. As we're going. All right. So deciding who I want to take out the ballistas. I didn't know if it'd be a better idea to do it with the zoanthropes or with the Tyranifex. So I just decided to do it with the Tyranifex. And here I'm just asking, how many hit points does he have left? Because I couldn't quite, I thought it was 2, but I wasn't sure. And then there's like, uh-oh. That demise that he's got, deadly demise. I was like, well, maybe I made a mistake moving everything over there. Roll it, and I'm okay. Whew. Blow him up. Oh, here's the deadly demise. My bad. Spoiler. I apologize. Ignore what I said earlier. Ready? Be surprised, guys. He's fine. Okay. Good job. We acted surprised. Okay. So now the guys in the top corner. The only thing that's left back there is the captain, I believe, in the Terminator armor. It was hard to see. Well, no, what's up there, the lieutenant died in the first turn. What's up there is the captain, Terminator armor, and the apothecary biologist is left up there behind. And he had moved the apothecary and the captain both kind of down the alley. The captain was more down the alley. So here I'm rolling for that with my zoanthropes. Again, the heavy-duty psychic scream, because it just does too much damage. I've got to take the chance with that. And roll some defense. And here's the resolve. 1d6 plus 1. And there's 2d6 plus 2. And his head explodes. So he joins the lieutenant down that alley. It's the alley of death. All right. So then we've got the psychic blast from the Swarm Lord. Should be next. I sometimes always forget he's got that psychic attack. All I think of him as is melee. And then I forget that he's got just the one ranged attack. So we got that. And this is into the Infernus Marines, trying to soften them up just a little bit. Made 2, failed 2. And now we're going to roll. I mean, because I have to roll it, but for our charge here. And we're in. Yoink. And this is for the Von Ryans. And we're in. And we're going to attack the stern guard with the Von Ryans, ignoring the Terminators for right now. And here my other son come down for a snack, and he wants to sit there and join us. So it's like, yeah, pull up a chair. So now my other son's going to sit down and join us. Little smack talk going back and forth because he sees my dead pile compared to my other son's dead pile, but it's just the way the dice go sometimes. So here the Swarm Lord's going, twin linked. I forgot about twin linked till the last second. So all 8 attacks hit. And roll for damage, or roll for wounds. He's going to roll his saves here. You see my other cat? That's Loki down there. Black and white tuxedo cat. He loves treats and ice cream. So he thinks he's going to get to lick the bowls. They had sherbet, so he thinks he's going to get to lick the bowls. That's why he's standing there very patiently. But I forget, I think I killed like another 3 or 4 off that, and then he's going to take a swing back at me with the Infernus Marines. And he whiffs all of them. Yeah, those dice just not working. Excuse me. So now I'm getting ready to do some math. The Von Ryans have 6 attacks each, so I've got 6 times 6 against the stern guard. So I'm using one of the wound dials to keep track of the math for how many's hit and how many's not, because normally I'd use my calculator on my phone. Again, I got to come up with a better way of doing that. If you have any suggestions, yeah, I'd appreciate it. Be a little easier. It's a lot of dice. So coming up on it, I forget the exact totals. It's a lot of ice. And so I said, you know what? We're just going to do it in groups to finish it off. Nope, I lied. I'm still going. Still going. All right, so that's the wound rolls. Now for all his saves. I think it was like, say 12 or 13 actually got through to the wound stage. About average against the Space Marine. So, and 3 of them died. One of them had some wounds left when that was all said and done. So out of a group of 5, 3 dead, 2 are left. And then we're going to consolidate in a little bit. So he's attacking back now. With only 2 guys left, it's hard to make up that math. And with his armor penetration, I think I had not a good chance there. Now it's his turn. He's going to move his biologist out from around the corner. The hallway of death, and bring him out. And then moved up the librarian, and I'm explaining to him because he wants to take a shot at the Swarm Lord, but yeah, he's in melee, can't be shot at, and everything else. So he's going to end up moving his Terminators up to get up in there and attack my Von Ryans. I said, okay, now they have strike first, so who's going to attack them first? Because I wanted to take out that Stern Guard first. That was my goal, was to take out the Stern Guard before, just to have less models on there. I knew the Terminators were going to do a heck of a lot of damage, if not wipe out the group. So I really wanted that Stern Guard, just not, 1 or 2 models running around the board causing issues. So I wanted that out of the way. So I used my strike first, and took out. Going to end up taking out that stern guard. With my strike first capability. And here he is with the Terminators. Or no, that was a stern guard. No, I don't know which one that was. I can't even remember. Or no, here's the Terminators. That's right. This is Terminators now. Coming in hot. And he's going to do a big old chunk. Librarian's going to charge in. It's now a big old mosh pit. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm glad I moved him up. But now my Zoanthropes basically have no purpose. So he's going to roll up charges for the Librarian and the Terminators and the Biologists. It was a 12-inch charge. We said, hey, why not? Let's do it. And so he rolled, and he rolled like a 6 or a 7 or something. But I said, hey, you want to use a command point on that? And we got a big old laugh. And here's my son getting more sherbet because my youngest got too much. So here I am getting ready to strike first against the stern guard. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this dice thing again. That's just too much work. So I told my youngest, I was like, you know what? Just keep in your head how many attacks, keep a running tally in your head of how many we got. Okay? So that's what he's going to do. Now, I don't know if you guys could keep up with it, but it's 25. 25 attacks. So here I am. I'm like, well, it's getting late. Let's just do it. The whole point of having NIDS is rolling it all out. So this is 25 attacks, 2 wounds for the Von Ryans. Here we go. Hopefully I can kill 1.5 models here with 25 attacks. And bloosh. There were, 16, 17 wounds he had to save. I think he just rolled. So he's going to roll a group of, I think, 8 or 9. No, it's 15. So he's going to roll a group of 8 and then 7. So the first set's going down. And they're dead. They got eviscerated. They're in little pieces. Yeah. So at this point, we're going to consolidate it all up. Bring everything a little closer together. And I consolidated away from the Terminators again. I really don't like those guys, especially against the Von Ryans. I mean, there's not much chance. But he's getting ready to go with those guys. So here we're rolling to attack. He's attacking my guys. Figuring out how many. He's going to command point reroll. We can... I've never gotten a clear answer. Is it reroll the whole hand or is it reroll just a dice? No one's been able to answer me that one. So we just reroll the whole hand is how we do it. So I'm going to try to roll to save here. I think I needed 6s, 5s or 6s on all this. And it was not pleasant. as it shouldn't be going against Terminators. Not at all. So I'm asking my youngest, hey, can you grab 2 or 3 of those Von Ryans? He goes, what? I'm like, ugh, never mind. So yeah. So now we're consolidating in. And now we're doing for the power weapon. Made those, I think. Yeah, we're just taking some pot shots at the Swarm Lord with the Space Marines. And it's getting to be about that time. Yeah, so we're realizing the time, and my kids got school the next day, and there's really, with what's coming around the corner and everything else, it's not going to be much hope that he's going to pull out a win, and we ended up calling it. You're going to see the handshake here in just a minute. Had a lot of fun, learned a little more, got to, play, which is nice. Again, if you've watched any of my videos, talk about my mental health. It was nice to play and just be, a part of it. That definitely helped. So it was nice. But yeah, it's a good time. I'd like to do it again. Let me know if you like these. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe. And let me know if I should do more of these or not. I guess the views and everything will let me know if there's a point to it. But you're going to see the handshake here in just a minute. And yeah, we're going to go have some fun and keep on going with what we're doing. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.